Okay, this is lesson 84, predicting rational and irrational numbers. The objective students will explain if a final answer is rational or irrational. So, rational numbers are a number that can be written as a fraction. The key word in rational is ratio. And ratio, whenever we want to write a fraction, it's a ratio. That's all it is. So can it be written as a fraction, yes or no? Yes. If not, it's irrational, meaning it doesn't have, you can never write it as a fraction. So, like pi, pi is a number that's random that keeps going up further. Whether it's 3.14, something like that, right? And it's random, right? So it's irrational. It never ends, and it's always random. There's no patterns. Okay, so why do we need to know this? This is just something you need to know. It's one of these standards. It's good to predict things if you understand what the patterns are, but it's like, this is just something we have to go through today. It's kind of a different type of lesson. Okay, so here are the steps for today. You have them written on the board too. These are the rules. 3 rules. If the sum or product of 2 rational numbers is rational. Oh wait, the sum or product of 2 rational numbers is rational. No if. I don't know where I said if. It's 2. The sum of a rational number and an irrational number is irrational. And 3. The product of a rational number and an irrational number is irrational. Okay? So, the only thing I'm doing is identifying the end result, and then I'm just going to add them if I need to. Okay? So, identify the end result. So I know that the first one, it's going to be 3 plus 4. 3 and 4 can be written as a fraction, 3 over 1 plus 4 over 1. Since these both can be written as a fraction, I know I'm adding a rational number plus another rational number. Okay? So if that's the case, rational plus irrational is going to be equal to a rational number, because over here it says the sum of 2 rational numbers is rational. So my answer is going to be 7, of course, and we know that the answer should be a rational number. Okay? I could have predicted that. That's all you're doing. You're predicting what's the number at the end going to be. Okay, number 2, 1/2 times pi. 1/2 is rational. But is pi rational or irrational?
Rational.
Nope. Irrational. If I were to write out pi, you can never write it as a fraction. So it's irrational. So then I look at my rules here that I have in my steps, and I notice that it is the product of a rational number and an irrational number is irrational. So then my answer is going to be irrational. It could be equal to an irrational number, which 1/2 times pi is just 1/2 pi, or you could write it like this. You could even say that this is equal to pi over 2. And the answer is irrational, okay? So that's all you're doing today. Is you're telling me is it rational or irrational. We're not going to spend a lot of time. That's the whole goal of today. Today's first day back from spring break, so I'm not going to do something too stressful for you, okay? So turn to your neighbor, explain what the rules are. Maybe 1 till 2 is what the rules are, we read them, and then 2 till 1 is how we figured out if they're rational or irrational. Ready, set, go. Okay, continuing on. So number 3, turn to your neighbor, tell them, is it going to be rational or irrational? We have pi times pi. What do y'all think? What is it? Irrational, right? Because it's an irrational number times an irrational number is irrational. Okay? And what's the answer? What's pi times pi? Pi squared. Excellent. Number 4. We got 2/3 plus 3/2. Rational, irrational. Turn to your neighbor. Explain it to them. Why is it rational, everyone? Because they're both fractions. So we know that the answer is going to be rational. Now we need to solve it. Okay, 2/3 plus 3/2. Okay, do we have a common denominator? No. What's the common denominator we could use?
6.
Good. What's this first fraction turn into? 4/6. The second fraction becomes 9/6. Okay, 4 plus 9 is 13/6. So, or we can make a mixed number by saying it's 2 and 1/2, right? Or 2 and 1/6, 1/2, or 1/2. That's it. Was that hard? Okay, next. Number 5 by yourself. Go. 1.6 plus E. Okay, what is it, everyone? Irrational. What's the answer? I would leave it like this, 1.6 plus E, because E goes on forever, so we would just leave it as is. You could say it's E you're going to learn about in Algebra 2, but I would just leave it like that. Okay, what about 6?
Irrational.
Irrational, right? What's another way to write E plus E?
E squared.
Nope.
Oh.
2E, good.
Oh.
2E. So it's irrational, and it's 1E plus 1E is 2E's, right? One elephant ear plus another elephant ear is 2 elephant ears. And we know it's irrational to eat any elephant ears. I'm just playing. Okay. That was a low blow. I'm sorry. I take it back.
That's fine.
Are you okay?
You hurt my feelings.
I
Tell
do.
my mom. Still hurt your bike.
I'm sorry.